Have you ever wondered what sparked the largest revolt in India's history during the British Raj? This was no ordinary uprising, it was the Revolt of 1857, a year that would become a turning point in the annals of India's struggle for freedom. A revolt that started as a mutiny of sepoys, the Indian soldiers serving under the British East India Company's army, but soon escalated into a full-blown rebellion involving several regions of the country. Now let's talk about what lit the fuse. At the heart of the unrest was the introduction of a new weapon, the Enfield rifle. This was a cutting-edge firearm for the time, but it came with a catch. The rifle's cartridges were greased with animal fat. To load the rifle, soldiers had to bite off the end of these cartridges. Here's why that was problematic. The grease used was rumored to be made from the fat of pigs and cows, animals considered sacred or unclean by the sepoys, who were predominantly Hindus and Muslims. This was not just a violation of their religious sentiments, but also a direct affront to their deeply ingrained cultural beliefs. And then, there was Mangal Pandey, a sepoy from the 34th Bengal Native Infantry. On March 29, 1857, Pandey, in a fit of rage over the cartridges issue, defied his British superiors. He attacked his sergeant, and his act of defiance was the spark that ignited the powder keg of discontent that had been brewing for a long time. Pandey's rebellion quickly caught on, inspiring other sepoys and citizens across India to rise against the British rule. A rebellion that started with a single act of defiance against a perceived religious affront soon turned into a widespread revolt, shaking the very foundations of the British East India Company's rule in India. And so, the stage was set for a massive uprising, an event that would forever change the course of Indian history. What happens when the flames of rebellion spread across a nation? In the heart of North India, the embers of discontent had been stoked into a full-blown insurrection. As word of the revolt spread, the rebellion ignited across several key centers. The cities of Meerut, Delhi, Kanpur, Lucknow and Jhansi became the epicenters of this uprising, each with its own tale of defiance and resilience. Meerut was the spark that lit the fuse of the rebellion. It was here that the first shots were fired, giving birth to a revolt that would shake the foundations of the British Empire in India. Delhi, the old Mughal capital, became the seat of the rebellion, where the elderly Mughal emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar was declared the Emperor of India by the rebellious soldiers. Kanpur, under the leadership of Nana Sahib, witnessed some of the most intense fighting. The city was a strategic location, and its control was essential for both the rebels and the British. In Lucknow, the resistance was led by Begum Hazrat Mahal, who refused to accept British dominion and declared her son, Burgess Qadr, as the ruler. Jhansi, a small princely state, saw the rise of one of the most enduring symbols of the revolt, Rani Lakshmi Bai. Known for her bravery and strategic acumen, she led her troops against the British, refusing to surrender her kingdom. In the midst of this, a name emerged from the ranks of the common soldiers, Tantia Tope. Without any royal lineage, he became one of the most feared military strategists of the rebellion. His guerrilla tactics gave the British sleepless nights and proved that the rebellion was not just a royal feud, but a people's war. As the flames of rebellion spread, engulfing cities and towns, the British found themselves in the midst of an unprecedented crisis. The rebellion had grown beyond their expectations, and they were now facing a formidable challenge. As the revolt spread like wildfire, the British found themselves facing a formidable challenge. How does an empire respond when its rule is threatened? The British found themselves grappling with this question during the Revolt of 1857. Their response was swift, strategic, and sometimes severe. When Delhi, the symbolic heart of India, fell into the hands of the rebels, the British were quick to recognize the gravity of the situation. They launched a counteroffensive to reclaim the city, led by General John Nicholson. The British recaptured Delhi after a brutal battle that lasted more than 3 months. This marked a turning point in the uprising, signaling the British were not going to relinquish their hold without a fight. Further to the east, Lucknow was under siege. The British forces, led by Sir Henry Lawrence, found themselves outnumbered and underprepared against the rebel forces. Yet, they held on, waiting for reinforcements that seemed to take an eternity to arrive. The siege of Lucknow, as it came to be known, was a drawn-out affair, lasting over 4 months. It was a testament to the tenacity of the British forces and their determination to regain control. In the central part of India, the Battle of Gwalior unfolded. The British forces led by Sir Hugh Rose faced off against the Rani of Jhansi, a symbol of resistance and one of the leading figures of the revolt. Despite the valor and courage of the Rani and her troops, Gwalior fell to the British, marking the end of the rebellion. But the British response was not just about strategic victories. It also involved brutalities and atrocities committed by both sides. There were instances of British forces indulging in wanton violence and destruction. Rebels too were not innocent, as they retaliated with equal brutality. The Revolt of 1857 was a bloody chapter in the history of British India, marked by a cycle of violence and counter-violence. The British, though initially taken aback, managed to regain control, but the cost was high. The Revolt of 1857 marked a significant shift in the way the British governed India, but we'll delve into that in our next segment. What changes when a nation rises in rebellion? Let's delve into the aftermath of the Revolt of 1857, an event that forever altered the course of India's history. The immediate consequence was the dissolution of the East India Company, a commercial entity that had ruled India for more than a century. The British Crown took direct control, marking the beginning of the British Raj. Queen Victoria's proclamation in November 1858 assured the Indian people of equal treatment under British law, a promise that was more rhetoric than reality. The revolt also led to significant changes in military and administrative policies. The British began to recruit from a wider array of Indian social groups for their armies, reducing their reliance on the high-caste Hindus and Muslims who had spearheaded the rebellion. They also sought to integrate Indian princes more fully into the administration, co-opting them as allies. The British, shaken by the intensity of the rebellion, became more cautious in their approach. They halted the aggressive policy of territorial annexation, known as the doctrine of lapse. Instead, they focused more on consolidating their existing territories and ensuring the loyalty of their Indian subjects. But what about the legacy of the Revolt of 1857 in the Indian freedom struggle? The revolt, though unsuccessful, was a catalyst for future uprisings. It fostered a sense of nationalism among Indians and sowed the seeds for the long struggle for independence. The revolt became a symbol of resistance, its leaders immortalized as heroes. The tales of their bravery and sacrifice continue to inspire generations. Great personalities like Rani Lakshmibai of Jhansi, Kunwar Singh, and Bahadur Shah Zafar, among others, became the embodiment of this resistance. Their stories, passed down through generations, continue to resonate in the hearts of Indians, reminding them of their historic struggle against colonial rule. The Revolt of 1857, though unsuccessful, marked the beginning of the end of British rule in India. It was a turning point, a moment when the Indian people declared in one voice, "Enough is enough." And though the road to independence was long and tortuous, the Revolt of 1857 lit the flame that would eventually burn away the shackles of colonial rule. So what does the Revolt of 1857 teach us? It teaches us about the power of unity, the strength of resistance, and the spirit of freedom that simmered in the hearts of countless Indians. This revolt was not just a military uprising, it was a social and political revolution that shook the very foundations of British rule in India. Let's recap the key points we've discussed. The underlying causes of the revolt were multifaceted, ranging from the oppressive policies of the British East India Company to the discontent among the Indian soldiers, the sepoys, due to the introduction of the new Enfield rifle cartridges. The revolt was sparked by Mangal Pandey, a brave sepoy from the Bengal army, who became the face of the rebellion. The revolt spread like wildfire across northern and central India, with several key personalities leading the charge. Figures like Rani Lakshmibai of Jhansi, Kunwar Singh of Bihar, and Bahadur Shah Zafar, the last Mughal emperor, became symbols of this uprising. Their courage and resilience continue to inspire generations. The British response to the revolt was swift and brutal. They suppressed the rebellion with an iron hand, leading to a significant shift in the governance of India. The British Crown took over the direct administration of India from the East India Company, marking the beginning of the British Raj. The aftermath of the revolt was equally significant. It laid the groundwork for the later freedom struggle, and it marked a shift in the consciousness of the Indian people. The revolt was a powerful expression of a national awakening, a testament to the growing unity and resistance against British imperialism. The Revolt of 1857 was a turning point in India's history. Its echoes can be heard in every story of resistance and struggle that followed. It was a symbol of the indomitable spirit of the Indian people, their quest for freedom, and their refusal to be subjugated. The Revolt of 1857, a symbol of unity and resistance, remains a powerful reminder of India's fight against British imperialism.